but it doesn't. Oh, he's one of the guides.
Oh, you know him?
No, but everyone talks about him.
Hello, Katherine. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing this morning?
This morning, I'm doing great. Thank you, Pavel. It's a lovely sunny day in New Zealand. It's sort of autumn and winter, a bit of a mix. So, it's a great day.
Yeah, that's what I said. Good morning, because you're all the way in New Zealand. I invited you here because, we met online. It's the first time we see each other, but it's easy to see how fresh and smiley you are. And I just love having people on my podcast that have this personality. And then you told me about an island that you recently had an excursion to, an island called Rarotonga. Do I pronounce it correctly? Rarotonga, which is relatively close to New Zealand. And I was like, I have never heard about this island. But when I Googled this island, I was like, oh my God, what kind of a paradise is this? I need to know more. So that's why I invited you, Katherine. And we're just, sitting back on our chairs and we're excited to hear more about this island. But before we do that, because I don't know you and the audience doesn't know you, can you just briefly share, a short summary of yourself?
So I live in New Zealand. I have a I don't have a podcast. I have a website called The 5 Kilo Traveller, and I encourage people to travel light. So I'm a travel blogger, and I absolutely love traveling. I've traveled since my OE or overseas experience back in my early 20s, and it's just travel is my passion. Absolutely love it. And so this last 18 months with COVID has certainly curtailed my travels, but it wasn't the right time to travel, and hopefully the world will start opening up when it's safe to do so.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, this is one of the things that we have no control of. So it is what it is. We just live with it.
Absolutely. And we get to explore our own countries instead.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell people, because don't book holidays outside of your country. Just look what's in the backyard. We just take things for granted. Well, I mean, your story and your blog really sounds interesting. That was the initial idea, to talk about how you travel with 5 kilos only. That is mad. And we're going to record an episode about that. But before that, let's dive into this island, what is happening. So first of all, how far is this from New Zealand?
Well, it's about a 3.5-hour flight from New Zealand.
Is everything far away from New Zealand?
Well, see, Australia's a 3.5-hour flight too.
Yeah. Okay. So you can take the flight
we
from
really
anywhere. You can. So basically, you can fly from Australia as well to that island.
No, not at the moment. Not during. So the only people that are allowed to fly to Rarotonga at the moment is New Zealanders.
Okay.
No. Yeah, and it's because Cook Islands and New Zealand are quite close politically, and also the fact that New Zealand and the Cook Islands don't have any COVID cases at the moment. So they've been trying to get it set up so that it's safe for the Cook Islanders, for travellers to come there. So they're sort of starting with New Zealand at the moment.
Okay, I understand. So is this island part of New Zealand, or is it a separate entity? Or
it is its own. It's got its own government and everything like that. But it does come under some people call it a protectorate, but it does come under the umbrella of New Zealand. I think they've got their own government and they look after themselves and do everything. But I think New Zealand does do some infrastructure funding and things like that. So New Zealand supported the Cook Islands during the COVID, during the pandemic, so financially, and I think it's a good relationship.
Yeah. In return, the island said, "Okay, New Zealand people, you're welcome to join us since you supported us." So I see the population is about 10,000 people. What can we do or see in the island except lying on the beach?
Yeah, so on the main island, you've got Rarotonga, and it is basically it's 32 kilometers round. So you can hire a scooter or a moped, a push bike, a e-bike or a car, and you can drive around the island. So we've driven around that island several times. It's pretty incredible. It's a really laid back island. It's we first went there about 20 years ago, and it really hasn't changed much at all. It's not overdeveloped. It's not it's not overly touristy. Like it's still really lovely. It's still genuine. They've still maintained the real Cook Island atmosphere there, and it's just beautiful. So you can do things like snorkeling straight off the beach. Just where we were staying, which was an Airbnb in the south of Rarotonga, we just walked down the stairs on the beach and then straight into the water, and we were snorkeling with tropical fish. So it was really magical. But you can do there's diving and fishing charters. There's resorts there, so you can have all the beautiful meals and the pools and the massage and facials and all those kinds of things, all the luxury stuff. I'm sure that you can do lots of things based on the water. There's the upright paddle boarding. There's this thing where I haven't done it, but you go and see the turtles. And then there's also, as you can see on those pictures there's big mountains, and so you can actually do a walk across the island, but it's you've got to be pretty fit for that walk. It's a pretty gnarly walk. And they're the fish we saw lots of fish like that. We were just swimming in amongst schools of those little black and white fish. I think they're the convict fish.
The what?
I think they're called convict fish, the little
convict
black and white ones.
because of the stripes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, all of these ones, we saw lots of these kind. Yeah. It was magical.
They're very colorful fish. Okay, so basically you can do a lot of snorkeling, which makes sense. You're an island. Yeah. You can do trekking as well. You said you can cross the mountains.
Yeah, so the walks across the mountains it's you're walking across tree roots and things like that. It's not a a great
developed
track.
road. Yeah, you need to make your path. You can see that even using ropes.
Yeah. Exactly. And you go with a guide. The safest thing is to go with a guide, because you could get a bit lost or injured. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, it must be really
That's
cool.
Crazy.
Once you make it, it's really cool. But yeah,
exactly.
It's basically, go on.
Oh, so it's a tropical island in the South Pacific. So it's got like the temperatures when we were there was about 29 degrees, but in summer it gets up to about the late 30s. So even in winter it's pleasant.
Okay, so when would you say is it's hard to say best time of the year? Then I mean, probably can go in the winter, when it's a bit more mild. Well,
for New Zealanders, for us, going away to somewhere warm and tropical in winter is absolutely idyllic. So New Zealanders will go there, any time from now, basically. The Australians, they're used to a bit more heat than we are. So I think they quite like the summer season as well, but it's pretty much year round. I was talking to someone at the resort, and they said that, because I wondered whether actually tourism dropped off in that high summer, and but it doesn't. Oh, he's one of the guides.
Oh, you know him?
No, but everyone talks about him.
Oh, is he? He's famous. Well, yeah. I suppose you're going to be famous, when you're doing these things there. Such a small place. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else? How long did you stay there?
So we were there for 5 days.
Okay.
And
so
our thing was that we wanted to boost the economy. So we boosted the economy and our waistlines.
Okay. So moving on, what did you eat there?
Eating. Oh, so the thing to eat there really is the fish. It's an island surrounded by water, and the fish is amazing. So lots of mahi, and now I can't remember what the other. I think there's a fish called wahoo.
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 Okay.
But mahi seem to be. Oh, and there's also the parrotfish as well. But yeah, so this is the food that they eat is a lot of raw fish. So sashimi, and they have a special dish called ikamata. And ikamata is it's you chop the fish up and then you marinate it in lemon and lime juice for about an hour or so. And then you tip that juice out, and then you add in coconut milk and spring onions, red onions, coriander, tomatoes. Yep, that's it there.
Wait,
Cucumber.
so hold on. Okay, so you marinate basically, because I found a photo. Basically, you take the fish, you chop it, you marinate it, and then you put it in the half coconut, and you
not the half.
No,
no, just in the coconut milk. So this is we didn't get any served actually in a coconut. It gets served on a plate.
Okay, so this is just maybe an extra, because that's really interesting. Because as you dig in, you're gonna get some coconut pieces as well, and it's gonna it's an interesting taste.
In this photo, like, coconut's really, really hard. So I don't really know if you could actually eat the coconut on the outside of this picture, because coconut's really tough. Yeah,
you're right. Unless they chop it maybe a bit for you. But anyway, okay, so you ate it in a dish, on a plate.
Yeah, like that. So that's the ikamata that we ate. It's just beautiful. Gosh, it's lovely. So they eat a lot of their own produce. It's so lots of fruit. There's pineapples, pawpaw, coconuts, of course. It's just it's stunning. Oh, you're hovering over Aitutaki.
The place?
Yep. So that's another island off Rarotonga. It's another flight. I can't recall how long the flight was. It might be an hour or so. But Aitutaki is sort of like the absolute top experience in Rarotonga is to fly to Aitutaki, and it's absolutely stunning. It's the colors are real. They're not photoshopped.
So hold on. So I need to take another flight from Rarotonga.
Yeah, to Aitutaki.
Okay. Did you get one of those flights when you just like 2 free seats with propellers on the side?
No.
No?
we went there a couple of years ago. We didn't go this time. So that's the lagoon of Aitutaki.
Wow.
And the little island, actually, the island in the bottom of the picture, there's a really little one that's called 1 Foot Island, and I believe that's because it's only 1 foot above sea level. And the other island, just to the right of that island, was where they filmed Survivor, one of the Survivor series.
Survivor, that's the one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's 1 Foot Island. Yeah.
It smells like pirates around here.
Yeah. It's absolutely beautiful. And when you're paddling in this lagoon, like, there's turtles swimming below you.
Wow.
It's just phenomenal, really phenomenal.
So how much roughly does it cost to go to that island?
It's probably I'd say I'd roughly be guessing a bit, but it's probably around $300 per person, wow. New Zealand. So that's probably about £150 or something.
Oh, okay.
To fly to there from Rarotonga. To Rarotonga to New Zealand is about I think it's about $600 per person, or $700.
Wow. Okay. Oh, does that vary about the time of the year?
Yeah, it does. I mean, at the moment, of course, prices are probably quite high because of the travel bubble has only just opened. But I don't think it was excessively higher. They weren't charging the absolute earth or anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then lastly, what do you think about the prices around these two islands?
So the islands are very similarly priced to New Zealand. So a lot of travellers say that New Zealand is an expensive place to travel to. So, of course, coming from the UK, you've got a good exchange rate, so it's probably not too bad. But it is, and I think it's okay. It is what it is what I say. It's not a cheap country. Like, it's not like Bali where things are really super cheap. And I think sometimes when places are cheap, that often the labor is cheap and people are being ripped off. The locals, they're not being paid well. And I think this is something that COVID has actually made people in a lot of these places say, actually, we want things to be done a bit differently now. We want to spend more time with our family. You're paying big bucks, so we would like to earn a bit more than whatever it is that they earn. So I think there's some change coming, and of course prices will go up. But if you've got the ability to travel, well, you can't sort of live on someone else's poverty. You can't travel on someone else's poverty kind of thing. So, I think there's some different thinking to come.
Okay. Yeah, understandable. Well, that was really, really insightful, I would say. I mean, really, really nice island. It's kind of, because I was thinking, I did a podcast about New Zealand, and I was thinking, like, we did a not eternity, but itinerary. And like, okay, spend a few days here, a few days here. Now, if I go to New Zealand, I need to make time to visit this island as well. So okay, it's I need to spend like at least a month on that side of the world over there.
Oh, you could spend a month down in the South Island in New Zealand.
Okay, so I'm gonna need 2 months in that case.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Do you think there is anything that we missed about this island?
Look, it's just a beautiful island. It's incredibly safe. It's the loveliest people. They are so welcoming, and one of the things I guess that people are now thinking about with travel is safety around hygiene and COVID and things like that. And the Cook Islands have got it really well organized. They've got apps that you get given a little card at the airport, and you have to swipe in whenever you go places. And their whole hygiene is very good. I think it's a very safe country, and I felt very, very comfortable going there. And it's and I think we have to take responsibility as travellers as well to, keep those countries safe. They're only small places. They've only got very small hospitals and a very small health system. So we've got to look after them as well.
Yeah, I agree. Responsible traveling, not just going somewhere, because you're going someone's home. If you go someone's home, you're not going to pollute and throw your trash everywhere. It's just be respectful. I agree with you. I agree with you. Well, thanks so much for joining us for this episode and showing us this beautiful islands, because with the next one as well.
I know. Well, there's 15 other. There's about 13 other islands, I think, but I've only ever been to those ones, Aitutaki and Rarotonga.
Yeah, so when I showed the map at the beginning, there was like quite a lot of islands over there, and I can imagine there's just beauty all around.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, thanks so much for joining us for this episode, and I'm looking forward to record a new one with you and welcome you again on the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.